Brothers and sisters of Burkina Faso, friends across Africa, and all who are listening to my voice today, I ask you to pause for a moment and think about the images and headlines you have been seeing about our country. Burkina Faso expels the United Nations coordinator. Burkina Faso violates international norms. Burkina Faso violates international norms. Burkina Faso drifting into isolation. These are the words written in the newspapers and broadcast on television screens across the world. But I stand here before you to tell you the truth, because the truth has power. The truth cannot be silenced by false reports or by the weight of foreign institutions. And the truth is simple. Burkina Faso is a sovereign nation, and we will not bow to lies, intimidation, or interference. When I assumed responsibility for leading this country, I took an oath, not just an oath written on paper, but a moral oath in my heart, to defend the dignity, the freedom, and the future of our people. Every decision we take is guided by that oath. We are not perfect. No nation is perfect, but our destiny will not be written in New York, Paris, or Geneva. It will be written here in Ouagadougou, in Bobo Dioulasso, in the villages and towns where our people work the soil, teach our children, protect our communities, and dream of a better tomorrow. That is the Burkina Faso we are building. The United Nations recently issued a report about our country. In that report, they accuse us of violating laws, of allowing inhuman activities, of neglecting children and women, of acting outside the bounds of justice. They present these accusations as if they are facts, but I am here to tell you and to tell the world that these claims are not true. They do not reflect the reality of our society. They are not grounded in honest observation. They are political charges meant to undermine our sovereignty because we refuse to be dictated to, because we chose to follow our own laws rather than foreign instructions. This is why we have expelled the UN coordinator whose false report has circulated in the media. We cannot allow someone to operate here who spreads untruths and disrespects our institutions. Let me speak clearly. Burkina Faso is and will remain a sovereign country. That is not a slogan for us, it is the very foundation of our existence as a nation. We are not a blank space on someone else's map. We are a people with a history, with a culture, with dreams and responsibilities of our own. We have our own constitution, our own laws, our own institutions. These are not decorations hung up to impress visitors. They are not ornaments to please outsiders. They are living instruments, forged through our struggles and sacrifices, created by our people, for our people. They embody our values, our traditions, and our hopes for the future. We have courts that judge according to the principles of fairness and justice. We have parliaments where the voice of the citizen can be heard and transformed into law. We have local councils that know the realities of the villages and towns they serve. We have traditional leaders whose wisdom and moral authority bind communities together. Each of these institutions, modern and traditional, is a thread in the fabric of our society. Together they work to ensure that our country is governed by justice, not by the whims of individuals or the dictates of outsiders. When we say we follow our laws, we mean exactly that. It is not an empty claim. Our police officers who risk their lives to keep our streets safe, our judges who deliberate carefully to uphold fairness, our social workers who protect the vulnerable and support families in crisis, our teachers who shape the minds of the next generation, all of them work within the framework of our legal system. They are accountable to the law. They are trained to respect it. They are supervised and held to standards that are written not in a foreign capital but here, on our own soil. We do not act outside the law because we know from our history and from the experience of other nations that lawlessness destroys nations. It corrodes trust. It divides communities. It weakens the state. We have seen the damage caused by chaos, and we have chosen a different path. Our mission is to rebuild, to strengthen, to heal, and to protect. That is why our laws matter. That is why our institutions matter. That is why we defend our sovereignty so fiercely. I know there are those abroad who imagine Burkina Faso as a land of chaos, where nothing works and where leaders do whatever they please. That is a caricature, not a reality. Walk into our schools and you will see children learning mathematics, science, history, and values. Walk into our clinics and you will see mothers receiving care, children being vaccinated, and dedicated doctors doing their duty. Walk into our community centers and you will see programs to protect women, to fight against violence, to empower the poor. These things do not appear in the sensational headlines, but they are the heart of our daily work. We are working on children's education with seriousness and with passion. This is not a project for tomorrow. It is a commitment we are living today. We have always said, and I repeat it now, that our children are the very future of Burkina Faso. They are not a statistic in a report. They are not a burden. They are the lifeblood of this nation, the ones who will write the next chapter of our story. If we fail them, we fail ourselves. That is why, even in the face of economic pressure, insecurity, and limited resources, we continue to invest in their education. We do not wait for perfect conditions. We act because the future cannot be postponed. We are building new classrooms in cities, towns, and rural villages where once there were none. These classrooms are not mere structures of brick and cement. They are spaces of hope, spaces where a child from a small farming community can dream of becoming a doctor, an engineer, a teacher, or a leader. Each school we open is a statement that every child matters, no matter where they are born, no matter their family's income, no matter their gender. So, you enter, please. But classrooms alone are not enough. We recruit and train teachers who are dedicated to their mission, men and women who see teaching not as a job, but as a calling. They are given support, training, and resources so that they can truly guide our children, not just through textbooks, but through values of discipline, civic duty, and respect. These teachers are heroes who walk miles to reach remote schools, who stay late to tutor struggling students, who build confidence in children who once felt invisible. We also know that a hungry child cannot learn. That is why we provide meals in schools, so that children can study with energy and focus. For some of our pupils, that school meal may be the most substantial food they receive all day. It keeps them healthy, it keeps them in the classroom, and it reassures parents that sending a child to school is not a cost but a benefit. These programs are funded and implemented with transparency, because feeding children is not charity. It is an investment in our nation's future. Beyond the classroom, we are vigilant in protecting children from exploitation. We have laws and mechanisms to prevent their recruitment as child soldiers. We have community networks and security forces that monitor and act swiftly to rescue children from those who would abuse or exploit them. We do not allow forced labor. We do not allow inhuman activity against children, whether in factories, in fields, or in households. Our policies are clear, our penalties are strict, and our resolve is firm. This is not just written policy, it is an active effort. Our social workers investigate complaints. Our courts hear cases. Our police carry out operations to rescue children. Our civil society partners work hand in hand with government to educate parents and communities about children's rights. Those who break our laws face justice, without exceptions or excuses. In this way, we send a clear message. Children are not property. They are not tools of war. They are not cheap labor. They are citizens of this republic and they are under its protection. This is our reality. It is not perfect, but it is real. It is not a slogan crafted for international applause. It is a daily struggle that we embrace because we know what is at stake. Every child who sits safely in a classroom, every girl who finishes her studies instead of being forced into early marriage, every boy who learns a skill instead of being handed a weapon, each one of them is proof that our policies are not empty words. They are the seeds of a stronger, freer Burkina Faso. We also protect our women. In our laws and our policies, we prohibit injustice against women. We fight against gender-based violence. We support maternal health. We encourage girls to complete their education. These are not slogans. These are programs with budgets, with staff, with monitoring. Ask the women who benefit from these initiatives, and they will tell you. Ask the communities who have seen change, and they will tell, but you will not see this truth in the UN report. Why? Because the UN report was not written to understand us, it was written to accuse us. Our government is not here to please foreign powers. Our government is here to serve our people. We do not bow to the West. We do not accept instructions from those who once colonized and exploited us. We are open to partnership, but partnership must be based on respect. Respect for our laws, respect for our culture, respect for our choices. If an organization or an individual comes here to help, we welcome them. But if they come here to dictate, to undermine, to spread falsehoods, then we will show them the door. That is what we have done. That is why we have expelled the UN coordinator who acted without respect for our country. Some will say, but President Traoré, you are isolating Burkina Faso. I say to them, you cannot isolate a people who stand united in their dignity. Our dignity is our shield. We will cooperate with those who respect us. We will build alliances with those who share our values. We will walk away from those who treat us as a subordinate. That is not isolation, that is freedom. I want to speak directly to our people now. Do not let yourselves be confused by the propaganda of those who fear an Africa that stands up straight. When you read that Burkina Faso is violating international norms, ask yourself, who writes these norms and for whose benefit? When you hear that Burkina Faso expels a UN coordinator, ask yourself, why did this coordinator issue a report full of errors and falsehoods? When you see accusations about children, about women, about lawlessness, ask yourself, does this reflect what you see in your own community? The answer is no. These are charges written far away to weaken our resolve. We are not against the idea of international cooperation. The United Nations is, in theory, an organization meant to promote peace, development, and human rights. But when its representatives behave as if they are rulers rather than guests, when they produce reports that insult our efforts and ignore our achievements, then we must act. Expelling a coordinator is not an attack on the United Nations as an institution. It is a defense of our dignity. It is a message that we will not accept double standards. Our children are learning. Our women are protected. Our communities are working. We are building roads, schools, and clinics even as we fight terrorism and insecurity. We are a people under pressure, but we are a people of hope. And yet instead of supporting our struggle, some prefer to judge us by their own political agendas. This is the truth you must understand. I do not stand here to ask for sympathy. I stand here to demand respect. Burkina Faso is not a colony. We are not a protectorate. We are a republic with a proud history. We have endured droughts, coups, terrorism, and still we stand. We have produced thinkers, farmers, artists, and soldiers who have defended our soil. We are not perfect, but we are sovereign. When we say we follow our laws, we mean we follow our laws. The UN report says we are not following our laws. That is false. We have mechanisms of accountability. We have civil society. We have independent journalists. We have opposition parties. We have courts. We are not afraid of scrutiny, but scrutiny must be honest. It must be fair. It must be based on facts, not on political pressure. Some of you may wonder why I am speaking at such length today. I am speaking because I want you, the citizens, to know what is at stake. If we allow false reports to define us, if we allow outsiders to dictate our policies, then we will lose our freedom, piece by piece. But if we stand firm, if we insist on truth, then our children will inherit a nation that is not only free, but respected. To our international friends who are listening, I want to speak to you directly and with complete honesty. Our door is open. Burkina Faso does not live behind a wall. We are not closing ourselves off from the world. We are part of the global community, and we understand that in today's world, no country can solve every challenge alone. Health, education, security, and development are not issues that stop at borders. Disease spreads, ideas spread, insecurity spreads. But so too can solidarity, so too can knowledge, so too can hope. That is why we extend a hand of cooperation. That is why we continue to engage with partners from across Africa, from Europe, from Asia, from the Americas. We believe in cooperation based on mutual respect. We are ready to cooperate on health. Our people deserve clinics, hospitals, vaccines, medicines, and trained professionals who can save lives. We are fighting malaria, malnutrition, maternal mortality, and countless other challenges. We welcome expertise, technology, and funding from partners who genuinely want to help improve our health systems. We are ready to share data, to coordinate programs, and to learn from best practices elsewhere. But cooperation must empower our people, not make us dependent. It must strengthen our capacity, not replace it. This is the kind of partnership we seek. We are ready to cooperate on education. Our schools need books, laboratories, training for teachers, and access to new technologies. We welcome exchange programs, scholarships, and knowledge sharing. We want our young people to see the world, to gain skills, and to bring them back to Burkina Faso. But we will not allow our education system to be an avenue for foreign control or for the erosion of our values. We welcome help to build our capacity, not to rewrite our identity. We are ready to cooperate on security. Terrorism, organized crime, and trafficking threaten not only Burkina Faso, but the entire Sahel and beyond. We are on the front lines of a battle that affects everyone. We seek partners who will stand with us in good faith, who will respect our command structures, who will support our soldiers without treating them as proxies. We know that security built on dignity and trust lasts longer than security built on domination. This is the security partnership we want. We are ready to cooperate on development. We need infrastructure, roads, energy, digital networks. We need investment in agriculture, in manufacturing, in small and medium enterprises. We welcome partners who see us as equals, who come to invest, not to extract, who create jobs, not just profits. We welcome those who respect our labor standards, our environmental laws, and our sovereignty over our resources. Development cannot mean exploitation. Development must mean dignity. We are also ready to work with the United Nations. We do not reject its principles. In theory, the UN stands for peace, human rights, and cooperation among nations. When it acts with impartiality, when it respects the sovereignty of its member states, when it listens to the voices of those on the ground instead of just repeating the narratives of the powerful, then it can be a valuable partner. We are not closing the door to the UN. We are saying clearly, the door is open, but you must enter with respect. However, our openness has limits. We will not tolerate misrepresentation. We will not tolerate those who twist facts to serve political agendas. We will not tolerate reports written to shame us rather than to understand us. When you come to Burkina Faso, come to learn, not to lecture. Come to support, not to dominate. Come to observe fairly, not to condemn falsely. We will not tolerate disrespect. Disrespect can be subtle, a tone of voice, a choice of words, a dismissal of our institutions, or it can be overt, a public accusation, a biased report, a unilateral action. Whether subtle or overt, it has the same effect. It undermines trust, it poisons cooperation. Respect is not a gift you give us, it is the minimum owed between equals. Without respect, there is no partnership. We will not tolerate those who use the language of human rights as a weapon to undermine our sovereignty. Human rights are sacred. They belong to every individual, everywhere. But they must not be manipulated as a tool of domination, as a pretext for interference, as a means to impose foreign policies. When an organization claims to speak for human rights while ignoring our realities, our progress, and our context, it does not defend rights, it exploits them. We say this not out of hostility, but out of clarity. We are willing to work with anyone who approaches us in good faith. We are willing to host missions, to share information, to be transparent, to be accountable, but we will not be treated as a pupil, a subordinate, or a subject. We are a sovereign state. We have our own constitution, our own laws, our own people to answer to. Our sovereignty is not negotiable. So to our international friends, I say again, our door is open. Walk through it as a partner, not as a master. Bring your respect, your honesty, your willingness to listen. In return, you will find a nation eager to collaborate, eager to learn, eager to build. You will find a people proud but welcoming, determined but cooperative. This is the Burkina Faso that awaits you. This is the partnership we offer. Some will call this defiance. I call it responsibility. The responsibility of a leader is to protect his people, to speak truth, to act with courage. That is what we are doing. We expelled the UN coordinator, not because we hate the UN, but because we will not allow anyone to undermine our people with falsehoods. That is the reason. And if the world is shocked, then perhaps the world needs to examine why it is shocked when an African nation defends itself. Brothers and sisters, let me end with a vision. Imagine a Burkina Faso where every child is in school, where every woman walks without fear, where every farmer receives fair payment for his work, where every village has clean water and electricity, where our army protects rather than threatens, where our laws are respected by all. This is the Burkina Faso we are building. We cannot build it if we are constantly bending to foreign dictates. We can only build it by standing up straight, by working together, by believing in ourselves. This moment, the expulsion of a UN coordinator, is not the end of something. It is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter in which we say clearly to the world, we are here, we are sovereign, we are determined. Our dignity is not for sale. Our children's future is not for negotiation. Our laws are not to be mocked. Our women are not to be exploited. Our land is not to be dictated to. This is the truth. So I ask you, citizens of Burkina Faso, to remain united, to remain vigilant, to remain hopeful. Do not let lies divide us. Do not let pressure break us. Stand with your government as we stand with you. And to those outside who still wish to help, who still wish to partner in good faith, we say, welcome. But come with respect. Come with humility. Come with honesty. This is my message. This is our stance. This is our future. Thank you.